The last time the Chicago Maroons played a ranked-on-ranked matchup was January of 2016. That day, the 12th-ranked Chicago Maroons hosted the 17th-ranked New York University Violets and took them down by double digits. A few weeks after that game, though, the Chicago Maroons went into a tailspin, dropped out of the rankings, and have not been back since until right now. In week 8 of the D3 Hoops Top 25 poll, the Maroons find themselves ranked number 22, entering the rankings for the first time in 9 years. And coincidentally, the team waiting for them back at the Rat is the very same one they played all those years ago, the 5th-ranked New York University Violets, for the Maroons' first-ranked game since 2016. Hi, everybody. I'm Graham Dunwoody. You're listening to Graham's Sportscasting channel, and today's game is one of the biggest for the Maroons in a long, long time, win or lose. They currently find themselves in a 3-way tie at the top of the UAA standings at a record of 4-1 in conference play, with their only loss coming to Carnegie Mellon. Entering the year, the big 3 of the conference were considered to be Wash U, Emory, and NYU, and in their first pass through conference play, they've taken down the first 2 of those teams already. They'll try to make it 3-0, and they would knock NYU out of that 3-way tie could they win today. Wash U also sitting at 4-1, and NYU will play them on the road on Sunday. NYU led by third-year head coach Dave Klotsky, who has had a track record of success against these Maroons, who have not beaten his Violets in 4 attempts since he was hired in May of 2022. Klotsky has coached New York University to 2 tournament appearances in his first 2 seasons as head coach. Last year, they lost in the round of 32 to Tufts. The year before that, they made the first round after not having been there in several years. So Dave Klotsky, one of the hottest names in D3 coaching right now, and the Violets, one of the oldest teams in all of Division III. This year, Klotsky retooled his roster with 8 graduate transfers, 8 fifth-year players in that extra COVID year of eligibility. And as a result, the NYU Violets are one of the most experienced teams in all of D3. They sport 5 different players averaging at least 11 points a game, with 3 of those players being transfers, and average nearly 20 points a game more than their opponents. They are led by graduate transfer Tristan Howe, who came in from the University of Virginia. The ACC to the UAA, quite a downgrade, but Howe has made the most of his new opportunity, 16.6 a game, 9.7 rebounds a game, shooting 41% from 3. He has been the anchor for this Violet squad, and he will be a massive hurdle for the Maroons to get past as they seek their 4th straight conference win. Maroons coming in with a record of 13-3 in conference play. They are 4-1. Looking to improve to 5-1 and earn their 3rd ranked victory of the season. They have played 3 ranked teams this year. They lost at home to Illinois Wesleyan in non-conference play. The Titans, of course, looking like one of the hottest teams in all of D3 at the moment. Then in conference play, they've taken down Wash U and they've taken down Emory, both those games away from home. Maroons unbeaten on the road, but just 4-3 at home. We'll see if they can bump that record up a bit here at the Rat. New York U just finished their loss. One of their players put down a one-handed slam that got the entire team rocking. They head to their bench. The Maroons visit theirs. Thomas Karowski hit the last shot. As the warm-up timer has expired, we will have the national anthem and then starting lineups to get this massive UAA game underway.
New York University Violets, and
Notable availability update, playing in warm-ups for the first time in a month, senior Arish Bandal, who had one good game against NYU last year. With the national anthem complete, Chicago Maroons and New York University Violets one step closer to tip here at the Rat. The most notable transfer addition in the UAA this year is New York University senior Jack Stone, because the team he benefits and the team he hurts. He transferred from Carnegie Mellon after being a first-team All-UAA guard for the Tartans. And he's starting today for the Violets. Also starting for the Violets, Zay Freeney, a 6'2" senior guard from Phoenix, Arizona. Tristan Haas, 6'7" graduate student forward from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Brock Susko, a 6'5" graduate guard from Los Altos, California, and a transfer from Cal Lutheran. And Emmanuel Onyuama, a 6'8" graduate student center from Aguilera, Nigeria. For the Maroons, Joe Barry, a 6'1" junior guard from Topeka, Kansas. Amon Kanai, a 6'5" junior guard from Atlanta, Georgia. Thomas Karowski, a 6'4" senior guard from Niles, Michigan. Daniel Cochran, a 6'7" freshman forward from Brentwood, Tennessee. And Jackson Piotrowski, a 6'6" senior forward from Newton Square, Pennsylvania. For the Violets, Stone, Freeney, Howe, Susko, and Onyuama. And the Violets featuring Stone, Stone, Freeney, Howe, Susko, Onyuama, Maroons, Barry, Kana, Cochran, Piotrowski, and Karowski. Onyuama being harassed by his teammates as he goes through the lineup walk. Both teams have started only 6 players all year and have used the same starting 5 for 15 of their 16 games. Now 16 of 17.
It's NYU, David Lansky. And for the Chicago Maroons, it is 24 seasons. Head coach, Mike McGrath. Thank you for sports tonight. 24 players and officials. And it doesn't matter. All times have been appropriate.
Maroons have started fast against every ranked opponent they've played this year. They've gotten at least the first 2 buckets and gotten big runs against WashU and Illinois Wesleyan. Can they pull off a similar run to start this game? Jackson Piotrowski approaches center circle for the opening tip as he stretches his knees out and waits for Emmanuel Onuama to meet him. No shortage of storylines, no shortage of hype for the first Maroons ranked game in 9 years. Tips in the air, controlled by Barry of U Chicago. And this game is underway. Barry bounces into the logo, feeds left side Kana. Goes to the left corner, Daniel Cochran, around a screen. Cochran kicks out Piotrowski, launches a quick through Piotrowski, no good. Rebound taken away by Tristan Howe of NYU. Fed up the floor to Brock Susko, back over to Howe. Fed left to Jack Stone, the Carnegie Mellon transfer. Stone sitting at top of the key, throws it left to Susko. Susko moves left to Onuama. Onuama behind the back, taken by Freeney. Right side Stone. Stone goes in, kicks out. Now into the lane goes Howe. Howe puts one up over the head of Cochran, no good. Rebound pulled, fought for, and it'll be a tie-up as Daniel Cochran was tied up by Brock Susko, and the ball will go to NYU. 42 seconds in. Jack Stone will inbound with a new shot clock. Stone feeds right under the basket. Susko trying to find an angle, puts one up and gets fouled. As Piotrowski was up in his grill and was called for the foul, and it'll be Brock Susko to the line, the grad transfer from Cal Lutheran, a 73% free throw shooter this year, to try and get the foul on the board first. First connects. For the first time all year, a ranked opponent gets on the board first against the Chicago Maroons. One more shot coming for Brock Susko. That one is good as well. 2-0 Violets. Some light pressure put on Barry by Zay Freeney, a 4-year starter for these Violets. Barry will take it across the timeline. Barry passes left to Kana. Kana isolated on the left wing. Still holding. Kana now works left, goes to Karowski on the left side. Guarded by Susko, works top of the key, Karowski. 12 to shoot, feeds inside Piotrowski. Piotrowski jacks up another 3. That one is partially blocked, but they'll say that Onuama did not get a hand on it. It's an air ball out of bounds, ball to NYU. So Jackson Piotrowski 0 for 2 shooting to start this game. Inbound to Jack Stone, ball on the ground for a bit as he will let it roll to save some shot clock. Feed it left side to Zay Freeney. Freeney a screen from Onuama. Behind the back, giving up to Tristan Howe. Fed left to Stone, gets past his man, kicks to the corner, Susko. Susko puts one up over the head of Piotrowski and buries it. 5-0 NYU leads, all from Brock Susko, the grad transfer. Maroons got to find an answer. Minute and a half in, Joe Barry with the ball, walking past the timeline. Barry bounce pass right to Karowski, gives it back to Barry. Barry feeds left Karowski, isolated, wants to step back, goes from 20 feet, that's no good. Piotrowski puts it back up and in. All in one motion, Jackson Piotrowski gets the Maroons on the board. It's 5-2. Other end, Jack Stone. Stone switches on to Karowski, looks for an outlet, finds it in the form of Susko. Susko steps back on Piotrowski, now kicks it back to Stone. Left side now, Zay Freeney. Freeney trying to feed, kicks top of the key, Susko, snaps up another 3, Brock Susko. That one's no good, but it's tracked down by NYU, Tristan Howe. Howe isolated on Barry, he'll back him down. Howe hooks one up and can't get it to go. Rebound is gonna be a foul on NYU. Emmanuel Onuama, who, as these NYU bigs do tend to be in foul trouble, he will get his first foul. 2.5 minutes in. Pietrowski to inbound. Barry has Zay Freeney draped over him. Barry does get the ball. And Pietrowski gets pushed, tries to fake a foul, can't get one. Barry will cross the timeline. Staring down Freeney. Barry bounce pass right side, Karowski. Karowski poked up by Freeney, taken away. Zay Freeney picked Karowski's pocket, now driving the other way, throws it out of bounds as he threw it over the head of Jack Stone and got a little bit too aggressive trying to make a play on the other end. It'll go right back to the Maroons. Pietrowski inbounding from the corner. Barry gets the ball as Freeney gets body checked by Pietrowski, and the ball's fed top of the key, Kenna. Amon Kenna works to the Maroon C, feeds inside to Cochran. Daniel Cochran gives it up to a driving Kenna, laying it up and in, a foul! Amon Kenna on the drive has a chance at a three-point play and to tie the game. Tristan Howe called for the first foul. He is also one to get into foul trouble, the Violets scoring leader. Amon Kenna to tie the game. One of the most dependable free throw shooters on this squad, puts it up and sinks it. Game tied at 5 off the end one from Amon Kenna. Jack Stone will let the ball bounce. NYU's optimized every part of their game with regards to analytics. Stone feeds inside, poked up by Karowski, but it's taken back by Stone. He'll drive inside now. Jack Stone go to the left corner, feeds top of the key, Susko. Driving on Pietrowski, Susko trying to worm his way through, forces one up, no good. Rebound Pietrowski, U Chicago. They're on a 5-0 run. Pietrowski works up the floor quickly. Pietrowski hands behind the back to Cochran. Left side to Barry. Joe Barry holds, throws left to Kenna, back over to Barry. 16 to shoot for Joe Barry. Barry motions Cochran to the right, gives up to Karowski on the right wing, 12 to shoot. Thomas Karowski works behind Cochran. Karowski snaps off a three over the head of Susko. Got it, Thomas Karowski! Maroons have their first lead of the game. It's an 8-0 run. They lead 8-5. Stone feeds left side. Susko now top of the key on Oama. Behind the back goes back to Stone. Harassed by Cochran. Tries to feed, now goes left side back to Howe. Stone holding, goes past his man, hooks one up and got it. Jack Stone, the Carnegie Mellon transfer with his first two. On the floater, snaps an 8-0 Maroon run. Chicago still lead 8-7. Pietrowski again gets body checked by Freeney. Barry holding in the deep backcourt, 20 to shoot. Barry gets past Freeney. Barry driving, throws it all the way into the air. Cochran has it tipped away and taken away by Tristan Howe. Howe against Pietrowski will get fouled. Not a great spot for Jackson Pietrowski to put himself into, and now he's on 2 fouls. Tristan Howe on the year, 68% from the free throw line. He'll get 2 shots with his team down by 1. We'll see what Mike McGrath have to do with Pietrowski. Looks like Noah Pitt is at the scorer's table, ready to check in. Cheerleaders stomping their feet as Howe puts up his first and makes it. For his first point of the game, the transfer from Virginia averages 16.6 on the year. Game tied at 8, Pitt in, Pietrowski out. And I imagine he'll stay on the bench for a while with those 2 fouls. Second shot by Howe. And that one is no good. Rebound Pitt of U Chicago with the game tied at 8. Maroons have showed some poise early. They'll need to keep it up for 40 minutes. Barry bounce pass right side, Karowski. Karowski holding on the right wing, now gives it back up to Barry, top of the key. Barry trying to drive. Barry goes all the way to the basket, lays up, misses. Rebound taken away by Howe of NYU. Other end, Freeney all the way toward the basket himself, but poked out by Cochran and saved by Kenna. Amon Kenna with a takeaway for U Chicago. Drives it on the floor, gives it up to Karowski on Susko. Karowski trying to get past him, and now he'll work to the right wing, switches on to Freeney. Gives it up, Cochran, top of the key. Daniel Cochran, behind the back to Barry. Kicks to the corner, Kenna. Kenna tries to get past his man. Kicks it to Cochran. Shoots from 12 feet. Cochran, no good. Rebound tracked down by Susko of NYU. Game tied at 8, 5 minutes in. Brock Susko feeds Jack Stone. Lobs it in. Tristan Howe. He'll be forced off his spot by Barry. Howe will try to drive. Howe will try to float one up from 8 feet, and he can't get it to go. Rebound Barry, U Chicago. Other end, Barry gives it up to Pitt. Pitt one-on-one. Shovels it behind the back to Kenna. Kenna into the left corner. Got to get it out, and does to Pitt. Barry get the ball and feed right side to Karowski with 18 to shoot. Karowski Works top of the key. Kurowski now to Pitt. Pitt given space, shoots a quick three and got it. The sophomore Noah Pitt gives the Maroons back the lead 11-8. Zay Freeney grabs the ball to start the next Violet possession. Luke Smith, Philip Lawrence ready to check in. Kurowski pushes Howe off his spot. Here's Stone. Stone feeds left to Susko. Kicks it into the inside Onuama on Cochran. Trying to back him down. Onuama hooks one up. Onuama, no good. Rebound taken by Pitt of U Chicago, who leads 11-8. 6 minutes into the game. Barry gets the feed on the right end. Joe Barry trying to go around a screen. Barry driving. Barry lobs one up to Kana, and he collects it. 17 to shoot. Kana works his way to the right wing. Kana pushed off his spot by Freeney. Kana got to get rid of it. Freeney poking at the ball. Kana gets rid of it, and he finds his man Cochran. Driving inside Cochran. Reverse layup Cochran. Got it! And a timeout called by NYU, as the Maroons, who went down 5-0 early, show tremendous poise, and they have taken a 5-point lead here at the Rat. 13-8 with 13.5 to go in the first half. This is U Chicago Basketball on Graham Sportscasting Channel. Welcome back to U Chicago Basketball on Graham Sportscasting Channel. 6.5 minutes into the first half, the Maroons have forced the NYU Violets into an early timeout as they lead 13-8. They are on a 13-3 run. They'll break the timeout with Kanal, Kurowski, Lawrence, Pitt, and Smith. NYU responds with Hampton Sanders, Brian Masako, Chuma Oyigbo, Emmanuel Onuama, and Jack Stone. Sanders up the floor. Looks for a screen. He's on Kurowski. Hampton Sanders, bounce pass left to Stone. Snaps up a quick three. Jack Stone got it. Stone had a semi-open look against Amon Kana, and they're jawing at each other in a friendly way down the floor. Kurowski gets the ball on the right wing. Maroons looking for an answer. Kurowski harassed by Musako, now feeds left side to Pitt into the corner. Lawrence traveled. No, it's not going to travel. It's going to be an offensive foul called. A moving screen on Noah Pitt. And another Chicago big gets a foul. Maroons up by 2. NYU with ball. Hampton Sanders down the floor, gets a screen from Musako. Sanders trying to work left around Onuama. Sanders driving inside. Sanders taking one to the basket, but taken by Smith, who just did not let him get a shot up. Lawrence the other way. Lawrence driving, shooting, laying, good. Philip Lawrence on the board. 15-11, Maroons in front. Hampton Sanders the other way for the Violets. Met by Kurowski. Behind the back to Jack Stone. Now top of the key, Onuama. Onuama looking for Stone, finds him, gives it back to Onuama in the lane. Onuama puts one over the head of Pitt and scores. Onuama has the answer, and it's a 2-point game again. 15-13, 12 to play first half. Philip Lawrence manning point down the floor. Shovels it out left side to Kurowski and gives it up to Kana. Back to Kurowski. Kurowski trying to get around Musako. Does. Kurowski shovels it into Smith, and he's fouled, and count the bucket, Luke Smith. The second and one of the day for the Maroons. Hampton Sanders got the foul, following his fellow number 2, Luke Smith. And the Maroons have a chance to go up by 5 with the free throw from Smith coming.
And 11 children.
The N1 shot from Luke Smith is up and good. Maroons 18, Violets 13. With 12 to go in the first half, Maroons offense has started hot. Hampton Sanders down the floor for NYU, feeds it left side to Tristan Howe, who's back in the game. Howe shovels it back to Sanders. Sanders getting a screen from Howe. Sanders works around him, switches on to Kurowski, hands behind the back to Musako, snaps up a three. Musako got it. Brian Musako, one of this NYU team's parade of excellent three-point shooters, makes it a two-point game again, 18-16. Barry back on the floor, gives it right wing to Lawrence. Philip Lawrence holds, pounces right side to Kurowski, goes, steps, shoots from 20 feet, and banks it in. Thomas Kurowski. 5 points for the fourth year, 2016 Maroons in front. Other end, Hampton Sanders. Goes behind the back to Oyigba, now feeds left side to Howe. Into the hands of Josh Menard. Kicks top of the key, Sanders. 15 to shoot for Hampton Sanders. Howe calling for it. Sanders just snaps up a three and buries it. Another three ball put in for the Violets, who cut it to a 1 point game, 20-19. Philip Lawrence the other way. Lawrence kicks it right side to Kurowski with Sanders pressing him. Kurowski puts the ball on the floor, gives it left side to Pitt. Into the corner, Lawrence. Lawrence spinning around, and now Lawrence trying to travel with his own. Kurowski kicks to the left side, Pitt. Pitt goes inside with 6 to shoot. Behind the back to Smith. Smith fakes a three. Now goes to the free throw line. Smith turns around, shoots a desperation heave and misses it. Rebound taken by Hampton Sanders. Running up the floor, Sanders. Sanders shovels it behind his back to Oyigba. Back over to Sanders, and the Maroons get back in position. Feeds right side to Oyigba. Back over to Sanders, top of the key. 18 to shoot for Hampton Sanders. Looks for a lob. Now gives it left side to Menard. Josh Menard, left side, back to Oyigba. Oyigba, Menard taking a couple threes. Now gives up to Oyigba. Goes behind a screen. Clicks right side to Menard. Menard around a screen. 5 to shoot. Menard inside. Menard laying it up and in. Violets retake the lead, 21-20. Under 10 to play first half. Philip Lawrence at the floor for the Maroons. Amon Kanai prepares to check back in. Lawrence feeds right side to Pitt. Into the corner, Joe Barry behind a screen. Barry driving. Barry stops, shoots from 8 feet, and misses it. Rebound taken by Hampton Sanders of NYU. Up the floor, Sanders shovels it behind his back to Menard. Lobs it up to Howe. Howe through contact, got it. NYU just cannot miss right now, and they're up by 3, 23-20. Philip Lawrence manning point the other way. The Maroons need an answer. Lawrence takes it past his man Sanders, puts the ball on the floor, but recovers. Gives it right side to Kurowski. 15 to shoot for Thomas Kurowski. Kurowski goes around the right end, shoots a quick three. Kurowski got it. 8 for Kurowski. A whistle and a timeout's going to be called by the Maroons as Kurowski's three ball ties this game at 23 with 9:07 to go. Maroons will talk defense as they are looking to avoid a shootout with these high-powered Violets, but the Violets have made it one so far, and the Maroons have managed to keep pace. So far in the game, just 11 combined rebounds because these teams are not missing a lot of shots. Maroons are 9 for 16. Violets are 8 for 14. Violets are 4 of 5 from long range. As a team on the year, they're 38%, tops in the UAA. And they have sure shown that skill off today. Each team turned it over 3 times. Only one player in the game with at least 3 rebounds so far. That's Tristan Howe. On the floor for the Maroons will be Joe Barry, Amon Kanai, Thomas Kurowski, Daniel Cochran, and Noah Pitt. They'll be met by Hampton Sanders, Brian Musako, Brock Susko, Tristan Howe, and Josh Menard. Hampton Sanders up on point for the Violets. Game tied at 23. Bounces it inside to Howe. Howe isolated on Pitt. Howe will feed it right side to Sanders. Guarded closely by Joe Barry. Feeds back to Howe. 17 to shoot. Tristan Howe now shovels it behind his back to Susko. Susko will drive on Pitt. Susko feeds now Howe. Right wing. Sanders with the ball. Sanders driving in. Sanders flings it cross court. Goes to Musako. Gets past his man Musako. Pulls up from 12 feet. No good. Rebound Howe. Puts it back up Howe. That's no good. Susko the rebound for NYU. Susko looking for a kick out and finds it in the form of Josh Menard. Menard driving on Karowski. Kicks it left side Susko. He'll put up another three. Susko. That one's no good. Rebound taken by Karowski, NYU Chicago. Karowski up the floor. Game tied at 23. Karowski on Susko. Karowski spinning toward the basket. Karowski kicks to the corner. Kana evades one man. Gets past the second. Gives it up. Karowski now top of the key. Karowski pushed off his spot by Musako. Karowski in the corner. Karowski still pushing. Now goes, steps back, shoots another three. Got it, Thomas Karowski! And you're starting to see some shades of that Emory game. Maroons back up by 3, and Thomas Karowski 11 points. Musako with the ball in the right corner. Musako shovels out to Tristan Howe. Howe now left side to Menard. Howe giving him a screen. Menard driving. Menard laying one, and it's no good. Rebound taken by Cochran of NYU Chicago, who lead 26-23. Under 8 to play first half. Barry the other way. Standing on the Maroon C. Barry, his first option was taken away. 16 to shoot. Barry still holding. Now bounce passes it right side to Pitt into the corner. Kana in traffic. Kana got to find a way out of it. Lobs out to Pitt. 7 to shoot. Noah Pitt. He'll just step back and launch a three, and that's no good. Rebound taken over by Tristan Howe. Howe up the floor. Does not have numbers. Howe will try to drive on Cochran. Poked out of bounds, and Howe saves it. Menard. That was almost disaster for the Violets. Menard now shoveled it top of the key. Hampton Sanders. Sanders still holding on Karowski. Flings it inside to Howe. Howe will try to turn, shoot one up, and no good. Rebound taken by Cochran of NYU Chicago as he played great defense. Barry the other direction, under 7 to play. Barry behind a screen from Pitt. Barry inside Barry. Shovels it out, and it's taken by Kana. Now fed to Karowski. Gets past his man Karowski at the free throw line. Kick to the corner. Open three, Daniel Cochran. No good. Rebound taken by Susko of NYU. Other end, Hampton Sanders with 6.5 to go in the first half. Sanders on Barry. Gets a screen from Howe. Tries to shovel it. Now it goes to Menard. Menard on Kana. Now feeds it right to Susko. Inside to Howe against the smaller Barry. Howe gets right by him and gets one over the head of Karowski and in. 5 points for Tristan Howe. It's a 1-point game. 26-25. Barry the other way. Will take it slowly. Pass it left side to Amon Kana. Kana will dribble a couple times, shovel it into Cochran. One-on-one with Howe. Cochran will go to work. Cochran will get fouled as 2 Violets were there to contest him. Howe and Susko. And it will be Howe called for the foul. That'll be a second. And Dave Klotsky will have to think about subbing out Howe. Cochran for 2 shots. Another really great free throw shooter. Misses the first, unfortunately. And Jackson Piotrowski will come back in for the first time in a hot minute, replacing Noah Pitt. Howe, Menard, and Musako onto the bench, replaced by Freeney Oyigbo and Onyewama. Second shot for Daniel Cochran coming. Set a career high 17. Last game, he makes his second shot. And the Maroons up by 2, 27-25. Zay Freeney up the floor, under 6 to play first half. Freeney met by Barry in the front court. Bounce pass to Onyewama. Isolated on Cochran. Onyewama behind the back of Jack Stone. Stone goes in and now steps back out. 15 to shoot. Passes left side to Freeney, whose first option wasn't there. Now Freeney will try to take it inside on Barry. Freeney looking for a lob, goes to Susko. 8 to shoot. Jack Stone not given space by Karowski. Stone tries to get past him, steps back, launches the desperation three. Stone got it. Oh my goodness, Jack Stone has 8 points as Karowski did everything right, but could not stop that shot from going in. Violets back up by 1, 28-27. Barry bounce pass left side to Karowski, who looks for the answer. Karowski behind a screen from Cochran. Karowski trying to get to the corner and does, but doesn't have space. Karowski on Oyigbo. Steps back, launches a quick three. Karowski, that's no good. Rebound taken by Piotrowski, and then he fell over. He was fouled. Looks like it'll be on Onyeama. And it will be. That'll be a second for the big man. 15 foul on NYU. And that is 2 on Howe and 2 on Onyeama. They're 2 reliable big men. Cochran exits, Luke Smith enters. Barry to inbound with 5 to go. Maroons trailing a point here at home, 28-27. Barry holding. Barry lobs one up for Piotrowski, who collects it. Piotrowski goes behind the back to Barry. Barry will try to drive on Oyigbo. Goes inside Barry. Under the basket, and he gets leveled by 2 men. No foul called somehow. And Jack Stone's taking it the other way for NYU. Stone against Karowski. Gives it up to Sweeney. Now to the corner, Oyigbo. Oyigbo going inside, hooking one over the head of Barry and sinking it. Oyigbo makes it a 3-point game, 30-27, Violets in front. Piotrowski inbounds to Barry with 4.5 to go in the first half. As the Violets on a bit of a run right now. Joe Barry holding, gets past center circle. Now feeds left side to Karowski, who's trying to do it himself. Feeds right to Barry. Barry met by Freeney. Barry will now feed it top of the key. Piotrowski, he'll spin in, kick out. Cannot launch this. It's a quick 3, no good. Rebound tapped by Cochran out of bounds. It'll go to the Violets. As the Maroons offense starting to sputter a little bit, and you can't do this against NYU and their electrifying offense. Zay Freeney up the floor for the Violets, who lead by 3. Freeney feeds left, gives it back up. Freeney looks for the kick right and goes to Jack Stone. Stone around a screen from Jonathan Sigurdsson, drives in, harassed by Smith, and tied up, and the ball will go to the Maroons as Luke Smith got his hands on the ball long enough to strip it away from Jack Stone and tie him up. Maroons can tie it with a 3 as the inbound goes to Barry, under 4 to play. Barry calling out a play. Guarded by Zay Freeney. Bounce pass left side to Kana. Kana back to Barry on the right wing. Freeney still meeting him. Ball right side to Karowski. Lobs it inside to Smith, who's pushed off his spot. Smith trying to back down his man. The 6'10 sophomore looks it up and in. Luke Smith as he wormed his way inside and put it in the basket. 1-point game. Jonathan Sigurdsson, the 6'10 sophomore, did not know what hit him on that layup. Zay Freeney up the floor for the Violets, who lead by 1. Getting a screen from Sigurdsson. Freeney still holding, going inside on Barry. Freeney shooting from the free throw line and missing it. Rebound taken with 1 hand by Kana. Kana the other way for the Maroons. 3 to play first half, 1-point game. Violets in front. Karowski gets the feed in the left wing. Gives back to Kana. Guarded by Stone, and gives it back to Karowski. And now right wing to Barry. Barry driving. Barry shooting from the free throw line himself and can't get it. Piotrowski darts on the rim for Chicago. In the corner left, wide open for a 3. That's no good. Barry tips the rebound into his own hands. Gives up to Kana. Extra pass Karowski, but he can't find a shot. And Stone poking it at Karowski. Ball ends up on the ground and shovels it out to Oyigbo. Oyigbo driving inside on Piotrowski and laying it up and missing it. And a late foul called after the shot was already down. Will go against Piotrowski, and that'll be 3 on him. 2 shots coming for Chuma Oyigbo. The grad transfer from Division II St. Michael's. On the year, 6 of 10 free throw shooting. And now it's 7 of 11 as he sinks the first for his 3rd point. Pitt back in, replacing Piotrowski with 3 fouls. Brock Susko will exit, replaced by Hampton Sanders. Oyigbo with 1 more free throw coming to put NYU up by 3. Oyigbo's shot is no good. Rebound tapped by Sigurdsson into the hands of Sanders. Other end, Jack Stone. Stone looking for Sigurdsson, now just driving right himself. Kicks out to Freeney, 12 to shoot, left wing to Sanders. Sigurdsson getting a screen. Sanders will drive inside on Kana. Sanders floating one up and making it. Hampton Sanders with 5 points, and NYU up by 4, 33-29. Barry the other way. Standing on the Maroon C, pass left side to Karowski. Karowski will feed right side to Luke Smith. Smith into the corner, Kana. Kana with a screen from Smith. Back over to him. Smith into the corner, harassed, and now shovels it back out to Kana. Kana kicks it back over to Smith. He's got a wide open three. Luke Smith, no good. Rebound tapped by Pitt, all the way up into the air and taken away by NYU Zay Freeney. Freeney's held behind the back of Stone. Snaps up a three. Jack Stone, that's too strong, no good. Rebound tipped by Smith into the hands of Pitt for U Chicago. Minute 36 to go. Barry the other direction. On Stone, feeds right side to Pitt, to Karowski. Karowski out to Pitt. Karowski under the basket, Barry, and he's poked off his spot, no foul. Barry now passed right side to Kana, 12 to shoot. Kana lobs it into the paint, Pitt. Pitt will spin toward the basket. Pitt will give it to Smith, and he lays it in, Luke Smith. 7 points for Smith. 1:08 to go. NYU 33, Maroons 31. Ball fed to Sigurdsson inside. Shovels behind the back to Jack Stone. Stone will kick it cross court to Oyigbo. Get past Pitt. Oyigbo laying one over the head of Smith and putting it in. Shuma Oyigbo with the answer. Puts NYU back up by 4. 51 seconds to go. Maroons down 4. Barry up the floor. Do they go back to Luke Smith? Barry gives it right side Kana. Stone out to meet him. Kana shovels it left side to Barry. Driving Barry. Barry kicks it back out Smith. Smith will fake a three. Now go in. Shovel back out to Barry. Snaps off a three. Joe Barry. No good. Rebound. Pitt will grab it. Pitt will kick back out to Kana. He'll try a three. Kana. That's good. 6 for Amon Kana. Makes it a 1-point game. 17 seconds left. NYU will hold for last shot with Jack Stone, who can make a three from anywhere tonight. Stone. 9 seconds left. On Karowski, Stone pushed into the corner. Poked away by Karowski. Ball's on the ground, and Stone gets it back. Stone will kick to the corner. Sanders gets past Kana. Snaps up a quick three. Sanders, that's no good. And the half comes to an end with the Maroons trailing by 1 to the 5th-ranked Violets here at home. 35-34 in a high-paced half. We'll come back with first half stats in a few minutes. This is Chicago Basketball on Graham Sportscasting Channel. Welcome back to U Chicago Basketball on Graham's Sportscasting channel. We're at the break. The Chicago Maroons trail the 5th-ranked New York University Violets by 1 point, 35-34. And these two teams are about as evenly matched as they come, to the point where I have trouble finding stats to differentiate these two teams. NYU started 4 for 5 from 3-point range. They're known for shooting well from that spot, 38% on the year. They cooled down a little bit after that, 1 for 4 the rest of the way, including that missed 3 at the end of the half by Hampton Sanders. But still a big danger, and something that the Maroons will have to adjust for in the second half. Maroons up 1 in rebounding, 13-12, as Noah Pitt led the team with 4. Kristen Howe with 6 for NYU, but other than that, the Maroons and Violets are about equal in almost everything, so it'll be interesting to see what shapes the second half of this game, considering that these two teams are about as close as you can get. Scores around the UAA. At the half, WashU leads Brandeis 42-28. WashU got a big advantage on the boards on that one, 26-15. Case Western beats Rochester on the road 87-84. Umar Rashid with a double-double for the Spartans, while Sam Trunley then with 24 points. And Emory held off an upset bid from Carnegie Mellon on the road, 91-85, despite Justin Allen scoring 36 points. Maroons did not have a lot of fun playing him the last time they matched up. Back with second half action in a few minutes. U Chicago Basketball on Graham's Sportscasting channel. Welcome back to U Chicago Basketball on Graham's Sportscasting channel, where entering the second half, the 22nd ranked Maroons trail the 5th ranked NYU Violets 35-34. About as close a game as you can get here at the Rat, but the Maroons need to find a way to hit a few more clutch shots to really have a good shot at pulling this upset off. They have beaten 2 straight ranked opponents in UAA play. Borowski leads all Maroons with 11, followed by Luke Smith with 7, Amon Kana with 6. Joe Barry played all but 1 minute in the first half and was scoreless. Need him to have a bigger game. Would really help the chances here for these Maroons. Barry, Kana, Kurowski, Cochran, Piotrowski on the floor. Piotrowski playing with 3 fouls to start the second half. Brock Susko inbounds to Jack Stone to start this second half for NYU. Stone bounce pass right side to Onyeama. Onyeama given space by Cochran, hands behind the back to Susko. Susko goes in on Piotrowski. Susko driving. Susko spins around, kicks out now. It's a 3-ball put up by Howe, and he misses it. Rebound tracked down by the Maroons, and it's Piotrowski who's got it. He hands it off to Barry. The Maroons get a stop to start the half. Now they can try and take the lead. Joe Barry on the Maroon C. Barry feeds it left side to Kurowski. Kurowski gives it up top of the key. Piotrowski feeds right side to Barry. Barry looks for Cochran in the lane. Now gives it up. Cochran does get the ball. Cochran trying to spin around, hooking one up and missing it. Rebound taken away by Brock Susko of NYU. Susko on the floor for the Violets, who lead by 1. Susko going inside on Piotrowski. Susko kicking out. Piotrowski falls down, but the ball's given to Stone. Susko now going back in on Piotrowski. Susko turning, giving up to Stone. Right side now to Dave Freeney. Now at top of the key, Howe. Howe driving. Howe spinning around, trying to shoot one over the head of Barry, missing it. And tips his own rebound out of bounds, but they'll say Cochran got a hand on it. The ball did not hit the rim, so NYU will only have 5 seconds to shoot. Mike McGrath, the assistant, barking to watch the 3-point line. Stoned in, but under the basket, Susko lays one up and in. Brock Susko. 7 for him, 3-point game, 37-34, a minute into the second half. Barry the other way, met by Freeney. Barry passes left side to Kurowski. Thomas Kurowski, bounce pass left side. Kana kicks out. Kurowski gets past his man, steps back, kicks extra pass Kana. Kana inside, kicks back to Kurowski. He'll try to get past Susko. Kurowski from the free throw line, steps back, shoots it from there and makes it while falling backwards. Thomas Kurowski. 1-point game, ball fed up the court to Brock Susko quickly. Piotrowski back in position. Susko kicks out Stone. Fed inside to Onyeama. Backing down Cochran, hooking one up. Onyeama off the backboard, good. 39-36, 2 minutes into the second half. 4 for Onyeama. Violets up by 3. Barry guarded close by Freeney, got to get it across the line and does. Now pass the right side to Kurowski on Susko. Back over to Barry, feeds left side to Kana. Kana around a screen, gives it up to Piotrowski, who will fake a 3, now give it up to Barry. Barry goes behind a screen. Barry kicks the top of the key. Piotrowski goes inside on Onyeama. Piotrowski stripped to the ball and taken away by Tristan Howe. Howe the other direction. Howe going inside, laying one up and in. Tristan Howe puts NYU up by 5. As their offense has adjusted well out of the locker room as they've attacked the basket. Barry behind a screen from Piotrowski. And another one as Freeney continues to harass him. Barry poked at, ends up in the hands of Kana on the right wing. Kana motors to the Maroon C, now goes left side, gives up to Kurowski. Kurowski holds against Susko, 12 to shoot. Gives right side Piotrowski, back to Kurowski, well, deep into the backcourt, 6 to shoot. Kurowski, 5 to shoot. Kurowski got to get rid of it. Kurowski trying to drive inside Kurowski, and the shot clock is going to run out before Kurowski can get up a shot. He just held for way too long, and the ball goes to NYU. 5-point NYU lead in the Maroon offense. Kurowski will exit after that debacle, and Lawrence will replace him. Jack Stone will get the inbound for NYU, who lead by 5, 3 minutes into the half. Stone with the ball, and he moves on Kana. Switches on to Piotrowski. Jack Stone motions men around now. Stone behind a screen. Stone driving. Stone attacking and missing the layup, but it's put back up and in by Zay Freeney for his first 2 of the game. And NYU is their largest lead of the night. They're up by 7. Maroons have only gotten 1 stop all half. Barry on the right wing, pushed by Freeney. Now gives it up left side to Kana. Gives it back to Barry. He'll snap up a quick 3. Joe Barry. That's good. Barry on the board for the first time today. 43-39. Stone the other way. Stone flings it inside to Onyeama. Contacted and gets it in. As they just continue to attack the basket, the New York University Violets back up by 6. Lawrence goes right on Susko. Lawrence driving. Now turns around, kicked out to Barry. Barry will get into the paint. Kick out to Piotrowski. He'll drive now. Piotrowski throw the basket, putting one up in contact and fouled. by Emmanuel Onyuama, who is hopping mad. He'll collect his third foul. 2 shots coming for Jackson Piotrowski to try and make it a 4-point game. First shot for Piotrowski is good. His third point. Piotrowski on the year, a 59% free throw shooter. Hampton Sanders, Chuma Oyigbo check in, replacing Onyuama, as well as Brock Susko. Second shot for Piotrowski is up and no good, too strong. Rebound taken away by Tristan Howe of NYU, who lead by 5. NYU has gone to the paint nearly every possession so far. Ball goes inside to Tristan Howe. Howe kicked out to Sanders. Sanders against Barry, spinning around a couple times, now driving inside. Sanders met by Cochran, hits to the corner, Oyigbo. He'll snap off a 3, Oyigbo got it. And it's an 8-point lead for this NYU offense, 48-40. Lawrence takes the ball on the other end. Lawrence looking for anybody to get the ball. Kick to top of the key, Piotrowski in traffic, but he collects it. 15 to shoot. Piotrowski motors right, gives it up to Kana, who has to corral it. 10 to shoot for Kana. Steps back to the Maroon C, kicks it all the way inside to Piotrowski, who's off his spot. 4 to shoot. Piotrowski got to get it off, spins around, shoots, and misses an air ball. Rebound taken away by Tristan Howe. Howe driving, kicks out to Sanders. Sanders lobs the other end, Freeney. Freeney all the way to the basket, laying it up through contact and making it a double-digit lead for NYU, and a timeout for Chicago as Jack Stone screams on his way back into the court. They have hit nearly every shot they've attempted this half.
Ticket numbers right now, 200.
50 to 40 the score.
200.
Violets have hit 5 of their last 6 shots, and the one they missed was rebounded and turned into a hit. As this offense has been attacking and have been getting all the looks they've wanted, Maroon defense needs to find some answers to stay in this game. They are down 50 to 40, 14:52 to go, second half. We'll see what Mike McGrath, the veteran coach, has to stop the bleeding. Joe Barry, Thomas Karowski, Philip Lawrence, Daniel Cochran, Noah Pitt on the floor. Then NYU will bring on Chuma Oyigbo, Ryan Musako, Hampton Sanders, Tristan Howe, and Zay Freeney. First order of business, scoring some points. Noah Pitt to inbound. Lawrence will be trailed in the backcourt by Hampton Sanders. Pitt will give him a couple screens to create some space. Lawrence across the timeline, throw it left to Barry. Barry met by Musako. Now he feeds top of the key, Karowski. Karowski feeds right side to Pitt. Pitt driving, Pitt all the way to the basket and slams it with 2 hands. He got right past Tristan Howe, and Noah Pitt with 5 points. Other end, Oyigbo will try to drive on Cochran. Now passes it left to Freeney. Matched up on Karowski. Freeney all the way with Karowski. Now pushes on to Pitt. Freeney, 15 to shoot. Throws it left to Sanders. Back over to Freeney. Freeney will step back, take a 3. Freeney got it. And another 3 hit by these Violets. They're up by 11. Lawrence the other way. Lawrence will fling it top of the key. Noah Pitt. Pitt will motion Karowski left. Now feed it to Lawrence on the right. Lawrence behind the back to Barry. On Sanders. Back to Lawrence on the right wing. Lawrence. 10 to shoot for Philip Lawrence. Dribbles it into Karowski. Karowski steps back. Karowski trying to find a shot, 4 to shoot, feeds it inside to Pitt. Pitt got to get rid of it, spins around, shoots, and misses it. Rebound taken away by Sanders of NYU, up by 11. Sanders the other way. Sanders behind the back to Freeney. He'll foul up another three. Dave Freeney, that's an air ball out of bounds. Ball to the Maroons. And they finally miss a shot and don't turn it into a rebound. Smith enters, replacing Lawrence. And Maroons have 4 players on the floor right now. Barry gets the inbound. Karowski is there, so they can in fact count to 5. Barry manning point. Maroons down 11. Barry passing Musako. Barry driving all the way. Steps back, shoots from 14. No good. Too short. Musako the rebound for NYU. Hampton Sanders the other way. Sanders slows it down for NYU. 19 to shoot. Sanders motors left, hands it behind the back to Freeney. Musako with the ball. Musako will be harassed and under the basket, stripped of the ball by Barry, but a foul called just as he got up with it. Joe Barry on the foul, his first. And that will bail out the Violets, who almost had a turnover. Susko shooting now, will be inbounding rather. He'll get it out to Josh Menard. Menard behind the back to Sanders. Hampton Sanders working on Kanad, driving. Sanders laying one up on the backboard and making it. 7 for Sanders. 7 different players with 6 points for NYU. 55 to 42 as their lead continues to balloon off the back of make after make. Lawrence flings it left to Barry. Barry turns around, bounce pass it to Karowski, 13 to shoot. Top of the key to Pitt. Flings over to Kanaa. Kanaa goes behind a screen, gives it up to Pitt. Pitt will snap on a 3 over the head of Onyeama and bury it. 8 points for Pitt. 55-45, NYU still in front. Hampton Sanders the other way. Sanders will lob it up to Onyeama. Isolated on Smith. Onyeama will hand it, no, will keep it, and give it up to Hampton Sanders, 15 to shoot. Sanders flings to the corner. Oyigbo driving. Oyigbo shooting from 8 feet. Can't get it to go. Karowski's going to be fouled as he went to the ground. That'll be 4 on Onyeama and force him back out of the game. Looks like Thomas Karowski might have had his hand, Onyeama's hand around his face. Maroons looking for some more offense to get back into it. Onyeama will exit, replaced by Tristan Howe with 2 fouls. Under 12 to play. Maroons down 10. Barry shovels it left side to Pitt. Pitt will look to give it up. Gives it up top of the key. Karowski snaps on the quick 3. Karowski got it! Thomas Karowski with 16. Timeout's going to be called by NYU as the Maroons have crawled to within 7. Off the back of some 3-point shooting from Pitt and Karowski. 11:34 to go. 55 to 48 the score in NYU's favor. This is U Chicago Basketball on Graham Sports Casting Channel. One notable thing about that last defended possession for NYU was that they were forced to take an off-platform shot with Onyeama. They have just been running toward the basket and laying it up and in. The Maroons on that possession forced them to step back and shoot a more difficult shot, which they have not had to do very much this half. That is the goal of every defensive possession for these Maroons, and that should be the goal as they try and climb back into this one after going down by 13. Down but not out. It's been the Maroons in almost every game this year. They've faced some of the best offense the UAA has to offer, and they're still standing. On the floor, Karowski will join Smith, Cochran, Pitt, and Kanaa. And it'll be Howe, Oyigbo, Sanders, Menard, and Susko Barry will be on the floor for the Maroons, not Lawrence. Sanders will get the inbound. Probably let it roll for a bit because that's what NYU has been doing, and that he will. He'll take the ball up the floor against Barry. Fling it right side to Howe. Tristan Howe will be poked out by Kurowski and fouled as trying to get around what Josh Menard setting a screen. The second team foul on the Maroons and the first on Kurowski. Not a big deal so far, but Brock Susko will inbound. Chicago coaches trying to work the refs as Susko inbounds to Menard, given space by Kana. Menard passes it left to Sanders. Sanders switches on to Kurowski, kicks top of the key now, Susko. Susko will try to work on Pitt. Susko goes to the ground, throws it away out of bounds. As he tried to kick it out to Sanders, who is not in the place Susko was expecting, and the Maroons get a turnover. And they have a chance to pull closer here on offense. Joe Barry with the ball, down the floor. Sanders not pressing him. Smith, bounce pass right side to Kana. Goes behind a screen, behind the back to Barry. One-on-one with Sanders, feeds right side Kurowski. Kurowski will get by. Sample a quick three, fouled. No, ref did not blow his whistle, and Kurowski misses the three. Rebound taken by Sanders, headed down the other way. Sanders racing in, that's a foul. Will not be a shooting foul as he missed the shot. And the Chicago student section letting him hear it. Kurowski was contacted on his three-point attempt, and a ref raised his hand in the air, but Logan might be about to blow his whistle, but did not. Cochran enters, Smith exits. That foul was on Kenai's first. Third on the Maroons this half. Still trailing by 7. Inbound, Sanders looking around, gets it out to Menard at the last moment. Josh Menard feeds right side to Tristan Howe. Sanders now with the ball top of the key. Sanders passes left side, Susko into the corner. Back out to Susko, 11 to shoot. It's 10 to shoot for Susko. Fed right side to Sanders, now to Menard. Menard looks to lob, gives up to Howe under the basket. Contacted, and it goes in. As Cochran did everything he can to stop the shot, but Tristan Howe with 9 points. Back to a 9-point game. 57 to 48. Barry feeds left side Kurowski. Kurowski gives it up top of the key to Susko. Not Susko, Kana. Kurowski with the ball again. Kurowski moving inside and fouled by Susko. That'll be the third on NYU. And it will be a new inbound for Joe Barry. NYU will check in Jack Stone and Zay Freeney, their three-point shooters. Although all their players are three-point shooters, replacing Josh Menard and Chumo Yigba. Kurowski to inbound. Kurowski gives it up top of the key, Joe Barry. Barry with Sanders barking instructions on defense. Feeds it inside to Cochran. Cochran isolated. Cochran will now walk to the top of the key, go around a couple screens and keep the ball. 8 to shoot for Cochran. Gives it behind his back to Kurowski. Kurowski will have to drive. Kurowski with 4 to shoot. Kurowski will step back, take a deep three. Kurowski got it! Kurowski, as the shot clock was running out. That was called a 2 on the floor. So 18 for Kurowski. 57 to 50. Sanders around a screen, gives it up, gets it back. 16 to shoot, Hampton Sanders, harassed by Pitt in his zone. Sanders driving in, Sanders kicks now out to Freeney. Howe flicks one up and gets it in. Tristan Howe with 11. Barry with the ball for the Maroons. Calling out instructions, and will feed it to Kana on the left wing. Poked at, Barry gets it back. Stone kind of poked the ball away from Kana. Now ball goes left side to Kurowski, 15 to shoot. Fed inside to Cochran. Cochran on Howe. Cochran kicks it out. Pitt gets past his man Pitt. Kicks it out Barry. An extra pass, but it's batted out of bounds by Stone. He's trying to get it to Kana for an open corner 3. 9 to shoot for the Maroons with 9:04 to go. They are down by 9. Amon Kanata inbound. Kana looks top of the key, finds Barry. And Barry will get around a screen from Cochran. Barry with 5 to shoot. Barry driving, stripped of the ball, taken away by Sanders as he put it too low to the ground. Sanders flings up court. Susko will lay it in easily on the fast break. Brock Susko with 9. And it's back to a double-digit game. 61-50. Barry on the left end. Bounce pass to Kana. Back over to Barry. Top of the key. Feeds right side to Kurowski. Shoots a quick three. Kurowski. Got it! That one is going to be 3 points. 21 points for Kurowski. 61-53. Violets still in control, but Maroons are not going away. Ball goes right into Stone. Stone on Kana. Looks for a screen from Howe. Stone into the corner. Stone met by Cochran. Stone driving. Stone shooting. Fouled, and it does not go in, but it does after a very friendly bounce. And it's an and one for Jack Stone. First foul on Cochran, and Stone will have a chance to make an 11-point game again. Stone on the year, an 80% free throw shooter, his first time to the line today. Stone bounces thrice, spins the ball around, shoots, and misses it. Rebound taken over by Pitt of U Chicago. Bounce it to Barry. Maroons down 10 with just over 8 to play. Barry wants to feed Kana, but Kana's pushed and no foul called. Now Pitt on the other end. Pitt, left side, bounce it to Kurowski. Kurowski given a little bit of snaps. Goes around a screen from Cochran, snaps up another three. Kurowski, that's too short and no good. It's tracked down by Stone, and then all alone in the fast break is Tristan Howe for an easy layup, as he was left all alone. 13 for Howe, 12-point game. On the other end, Barry rolls around a screen from Pitt. Pietrowski ready to check back in. Bounce it to Pitt on the right wing. Pitt driving. Pitt shrugs off Susko and now steps back out. Feeds inside to Kana. Kana double team, harassed. Kana spins around, kicked it, but it's poked out by Cochran and taken away by Stone. Jack Stone the other way for NYU. Stone working on Barry. Stone will have to back out now. 7:20 to go. Maroons down 12, looking for a flurry of defensive stops. Stone pushes to the back end, but Howe will take an easy drive to the basket and put Kurowski, but he's missed, and another late foul called after the shot was missed on Kurowski. Two shots coming for Jack Stone. 0 for 1 today. Oh, not Stone, Tristan Howe. Two hits to make it a 14-point game in the largest lead of the night for NYU. First shot for Howe is good. 14 points for the grad transfer from Virginia. Cochran checks out, favoring one knee, and Smith will enter for him. Pietrowski also check in for Pitt. With the Maroons down by 13, could be 14 if Howe can make this shot. His shot is good. 15 for Howe at 6-7-53, NYU in front. Pietrowski to inbound, and Howe will head to the bench, replaced by Anyuam with 4 fouls. Barry trying to get past Musaka, and now finds Kana on the left wing. Goes back to Barry. Barry to Kurowski on the right end. Kurowski pushed out by Freeney. Kurowski trying to get around him. Hands it behind the back to Barry. 13 to shoot. Barry to the corner. Kana, open three. Kana, got it! 9 for Kana. And another 3 keeps the Maroons within 11. Timeout called by Mike McGrath. 6:42 to go. Violets 67, Maroons 56. This is U Chicago Basketball on Graham Sportscasting Channel. Well, I talked at halftime about there not being a lot of staff to differentiate these two teams. there are now some pretty clear trends emerging. NYU shooting the three-point line, 16% better. They are 7 of 11 from beyond the arc in this game. And not only that, points in the paint, they have the Maroons doubled up. 36-18 as their strategy was to get the Maroons rattled about threes and then start driving in to make space and get easy layups. And they have done that with aplomb. And that allowed them to put this big second half lead. Chuma Oyigbo will inbound. Onyeama, Freeney, Musako, and Stone also on the floor for NYU. Maroons have Barry, Kana, Karowski, Pietrowski, and Smith. Stone bounce passes left to Musako. Now right to Oyigbo. Behind the back goes back to Stone. Stone with 20 to shoot. Driving inside Pietrowski. Stone fouled as he was going to the ground and kind of threw his body into Pietrowski for his fourth foul. That'll be the 6th team foul on the Maroons. And that will send Jack Stone to the line for a 1-and-1. 2 shots, actually. Called it a shooting foul. So Jack Stone will take 2 here. First shot is good. 11 points for the Carnegie Mellon transfer. Pietrowski will exit after picking up his 4th, replaced by Noah Pitt. Second free throw coming for Jack Stone to make it a 13-point game is good. Barry gets the inbound, gets past Musako, and gives it up left side to Kana. Barry now will give it right side to Karowski, goes behind the back to Barry. 18 to shoot, flings right side to Kana, gets past his man, Kana, goes left wing to Barry, snaps up a 3, Joe Barry, no good. Rebound taken by Karowski of U Chicago. He'll try to snap up a 3, contacted, no foul, and now Smith will have the ball in the paint. Hook one up Smith, and it's no good. Rebound taken by Barry, but then fouled. And again, another New York player with his head around his hands at that foul. First foul on Zay Freeney. Barry will get the inbound on the 4th team foul on NYU. Barry will just lob one up for Pitt and he'll collect it. Give it into the corner for Karowski. Karowski holding. Gives it behind his back to Barry. Barry on the Maroon C. 12 to shoot. Bounce pass right side to Pitt. To Kana. Kana moving right. Flings top of the key to Smith. Smith goes behind the back to Kana. Snaps up a 3. Kana. Got it! 12 points for Amon Kana. 10-point game. 69-59. Do the Maroons have enough in the tank on defense? Jack Stone bounces it to Onyeama. Onyeama will try to make him space, and now he will give it up to Stone. Will snap up a quick 3. Stone got it. Onyeama back down, hit to make space, and there was no one running with Jack Stone for an easy 3. 72-59 the score. 5:21 to go. We had a timeout called by NYU. The points are not on the board. Now they are. Okay. Was wondering if that timeout was called too early, but the points count. It's a 13-point game. 72-59. The Violets now 8 for 12 from 3-point range.
6-9.
And it's another Carnegie Mellon situation where when the Maroons play their zone, it's pretty easy for the big men to make space and then give it up to the 3-point shooters with enough space to get a free look. And that's what's happening here. Barry, Kana, Karowski, Cochran, and Pitts for the Maroons, who trail by 13. Hampton Sanders will travel with Barry. And Barry will have 2 men in the backcourt, Susko and Sanders, but they will back out, and Barry will cross the Maroon C. Bounce pass goes right into the hands of Susko, then ends up on the ground on a kickball. What do we got? Thank you. And it will be a foul on you, Chicago. Kana called for his second, and that will be the 7th on the Maroons. It'll send Brock Susko to the line for a 1-and-1. Just a lazy pass from Barry will. Brock Susko, a 73% free throw shooter on the year. For the 1-and-1, 5:11 to go, second half. His first is good. Third Violet to double figures, Brock Susko. He will have one more coming up to make it a 15-point game. It's good. 74-59 to score. Joe Barry crosses the timeline with some urgency this time. Gives it up to Kurowski on the right wing. Goes around a screen, flings it back to the screener, Cochran. Cochran driving, putting one up and making it over the head of Susko. 5 for Cochran, 61 for the Maroons. Still down 13. Hampton Sanders manning point for NYU. Sanders flings it inside to Howe. Makes space for Stone. Kicks it back to Howe. Now right wing, Susko. Susko driving, laying one up. Susko got it. Right over Pitt's head. 13 for Susko. Kurowski harassing the backcourt, but he gets it out to Barry, who cannot collect it, but it's tipped out of bounds by Susko, who then runs four rows deep into the stands. 76-51, under 4.5 to go. Inbound goes to Cochran. Goes behind the back to Barry, standing on the Maroon C. Needs some points and fast. Bounce passes left side to Kana. Kana on Stone. Will look for some space and now give it up to Cochran. Cochran will, Kurowski calling for it. Can't get the ball though as Freeney's around him. Freeney pokes the ball away. Kurowski has to handle it. 4 to shoot for Kurowski. Gets inside. Kurowski driving. Kicks it over to Pitt. He'll have to shoot one as the shot clock expires and it's no good. Rebound Susko of NYU on the broken play. Maroons have only given up 80 points once all season. Kurowski gets the steal on the pass from Sanders. Kurowski will drive and get fouled by Sanders. And it will be a flagrant as Sanders called for that one, his second, and it will send Kurowski to the line on a flagrant. It'll be 2 shots in the ball for Thomas Kurowski.
His second, and it's the team's fifth. The call on the floor is a flagrant foul.
So they will go to review the flagrant.
It's underway.
We will see what happens with that. 3:44 to go. Maroons need a big comeback really fast if they want to win this game. We'll take a break and be back with the end of the game on Graham Sportscasting Channel.
6-9, 2-1. If you have it, sports game.
Out of the timeout for the Maroons will be Kurowski, Pitts, Barry, Cochran, and Kana. We'll see what the refs call with regard to this flagrant foul on Hampton Sanders. The 5'11" sophomore guard from South Brunswick, New Jersey. Sanders only started 1 game this year, and the flagrant is confirmed. It'll be 2 shots and the ball for Thomas Kurowski. And if you want her to make a comeback, 2 free throws in the ball is a good place to start. That was Kurowski's first steal of the game. His first free throw connects, and he's got 22 points. Second shot is good. 76-63. Now the Maroons will have ball. And inbounding it will be Joe Barry. Maroons need a lot of offense and a lot of defense to make up this much ground this quickly. The Maroons have given up a season high of 80. That was to Illinois Wesleyan. Ball inbounded to Cochran here. Cochran behind the back to Kurowski. Kurowski guarded by Sanders. Cochran and is fouled by Zay Freeney. That will be number 6 on NYU and number 2 on Zay Freeney. 3:39 to go. Maroons will have free throws the rest of the way as they try to play catch up here. Barry gives it up to Kanaa on the Maroon C. Kanaa throws left side to Kurowski. Feeds into Barry, but it's taken on by Hampton Sanders on the interception. Sanders the other direction. Under 3.5 to go. Sanders. And behind the back to Freeney. Gives it up to Howe. Tristan Howe behind the back to Sanders, given space. Met by Kurowski now. Sanders, 13 to shoot. Flings it cross court to an open Susko for 3. Got it. Yet another three-pointer falls. And Brock Susko has a game-leading 16 for these Violets. 16-point lead. Joe Barry up the floor for the Maroons. Looks for Kurowski again. It's tipped at, but this time Kurowski handles it. Flings cross court, shoveled out to Barry. Snaps on a 3. Barry, that's no good. Rebound tapped out to Kurowski by Kanaa. Kurowski holds, dribbles right. Kurowski Euro step, kick to the corner. Barry, extra pass to Cochran. He fires a 3. Daniel Cochran, that's no good. Rebound taken by Kanaa in the lane. Puts it back up, that's no good. And falling down with the rebound is Tristan Howe. Bodies on the floor and we still no call on the floor. They will get a foul on Amon Kanaa on the rebound. Third foul on the third year. Timeout called with 2:36 to go. They'll go to another video review, actually, for another possible flagrant by Kanaa.
Let's go with this string, 699-184. Check your tickets, 699-184. And if you have that, come on down to the Storage Stadium. It's slam dunk for Special Olympics. That's what this raffle is tied into. Brought to you by the Women's Athletic Association here at University of Chicago. Whether it's basketball, softball, other programs, part of WAA, bringing you tonight's raffle, 2 tickets to the Chicago Symphony Orchestra World-Class Elite Play downtown. It's a $200 value. Bring your tickets to the Storage Stadium.
It's been a trio of transfer leading the way for NYU. Brock Susko with 16, Tristan Howe with 15, Jack Stone with 15. 1-1 coming off the common foul for Tristan Howe for the NYU Violets, who are up 79-63. First shot for Howe is good. 16 for the grad transfer from Virginia. And with one more shot, it'll be an 18-point game. Howe's second is up and good. NYU's 81 are the most scored against the Maroons all season. Philip Lawrence working on Sanders, gives it left side to Ben Chasen. Chasen around a screen from Smith, behind the back to Kanaa. Kanaa looking for space, gives up to Lawrence. Lawrence will swing it out left side, 12 to shoot. Philip Lawrence driving inside on Sanders, kicks it out Luke Smith. Smith will fake a three, now spin around, give it up to Kana. Kana will try and give it to the corner. Lawrence for three, got it. As the shot clock expires, Philip Lawrence up to 5 points. 81-66 the score. Hampton Sanders letting the ball roll and more time. Run off the clock under 2 minutes. Maroons not fouling. Jack Stone with the ball. Stone will just kind of taunt Chase into the dribbles back and forth. On to the Maroon C, 15 to shoot. Stone holding 10 to shoot. Stone will now run his play. Gets a screen from Howe. Dribbles inside. Cheekman by Ben Chasen. Fed up the floor to Kana. Aim on Kana. Shovels it out to Chasen. Chasen back over to Kana. We'll go throw the extra box to Lawrence. X back to Kana. Snaps on the top of the key three. Kana. That's no good. Rebound off the hands of Smith. Can he save it? No, he can't. Smith stumbled into the hands of Susko for NYU. Maroons not fouling. They have all but conceded in this one. Other end, Zay Freeney handling on Kana. Freeney with 10 to shoot. Will now run his play. Howe comes to give him a screen. Freeney gives it up to Howe. Howe drives toward Kana. Howe with a lay, and it's good. 19 for Tristan Howe. 83-66, a timeout called so that both teams can get some backups in. Ezra Mose will enter as Tristan Howe pumps his fist. His day is done with 19 points. NYU with a timeout. They will sub in Jonathan Sigurdsson as well as a few others. Rian Jawani, as well as Sigurdsson. Ball handed off left side, Mose. Fed right side to Chasen. Chasen back over to Mose. Mose will dribble a couple times, drive inside Mose. Ezra Mose spinning back around, kicking over to Pitt. He'll shoot from 6 feet, and that is no good. Rebound taken by Rian Jawani of NYU, who leads by 17. Other end goes to Matt Volkening. Other end, Kawika Akina. Akina looking for a feed, kicks right side to Oyigbo. 17 seconds left, and a three snapped off by Volkening and missed. Rebound taken by Chasen, and Philip Lawrence will dribble out the last 10 seconds. As this was not the result the Maroons hoped for in their first ranked-on-ranked game in 9 years. They fall 83-66 to the visiting NYU Violets. They drop to 13-4, 5-4 at home. They'll be back for a tilt against Brandeis at home in 2 days. That will tip off at 2 p.m. CST on Sunday. Final score, NYU 83, Chicago 66. This has been U Chicago Basketball on Graham Sports Casting Channel.